There's only one place to start today, isn't there? And that's Old Trafford. Manchester United losing at home, missing the chance to go top of the table, defeated by bottom of the table Sheffield United, registering just their second win of the season. Craig, how on earth did this happen?
Lots of possession, but really never troubled the Sheffield United goal that many times. Keeper didn't have to make that many saves. And I thought Sheffield United defended brilliantly. I mean, Phil Jagielka, 38, I think it is. He is, rolled back the years big time. In recent games, he's gone back to the tried and trusted in midfield, which was Lundstrom, Fleck and Norwood. Those guys have been out the side for long parts of this season, and that was the fulcrum of their team last year. And I think Chris Wilder just said, I've got to go back to basics here. This was the Sheffield United we saw last year, scrapping and fighting and defending and then trying to feed off scraps at the other side. And United were sloppy. I mean, you look at the second goal, It was McBurney, I think it was, who got the goal, and they had so much... Was it McBurney?
Burke. Oliver Burke.
Burke. Thank you, boys. It was Burke.
Another jock. Another Scotsman.
Yeah, he had so much time in the box. On two occasions, there was Pogba and there was a couple of other players within 5 yards, and they looked at him. And they were sloppy. So when Fernandes doesn't have a sparkling game, or Rashford doesn't have a sparkling game, this United side just lacks the guile that we saw from Manchester City yesterday.
How do you explain that defending for the second goal, Steve? It was really weird.
Well, I think in some ways when you play against a team like Sheffield United, who are bottom of the league, you've pegged them back, and you kind of think it's just going to happen. You're just going to go on and get the winner. And so you drop certainly a level of intensity, because as far as quality, it wasn't really there for United. But the intensity was there to get the equaliser. And I think once they did that, there was just a little drop. And that's what happens, Nobody takes the initiative. Nobody, certainly usually when somebody has the ball at their feet in the box, you're expecting not just one, but two defenders to be going and either throwing their body in the line or just making a good, solid challenge or get close enough. That didn't happen, and that to me is down to they just took it a little bit easy after they got the equaliser, thinking that all they had to do was just see it out and they were going to score.
Yeah, and did we see today why Manchester United won't win the title?
Well, that was my tip to win the league, but Craig was talking about it. They had fantastic possession, but Manchester United can't handle possession. And that's the problem. You go from beating Liverpool, when Liverpool kind of had the initiative, they went up and then scored. But I will also respect Sheffield United for their performance. I mean, you could say they deserve to win that game, because in the second half, there should be a pressure from Manchester United. They're putting Cavani on. They should make all kind of effort to get that at least an equaliser. It didn't happen. I can't remember that the Sheffield United goalkeeper had to make any big saves, any big interceptions. Sometimes it came for crosses. So I think that was Manchester United losing on a dreadful day of Manchester United, where some players in like Martial, his body language is not even Europa League. It's down there in going down in the Championship. I can't believe how he sometimes goes along on the pitch.
No, I was sent to you. Go on, Stevie.
This is nothing new, by the way, for Manchester United at home. We've seen performance after performance like this. Even recently, Burnley, they somehow scrape a win 1-0. The same against Wolves. Even Aston Villa, they win 2-1 against Villa, and how Villa don't get a point at least, I'm not so sure. And then you think about them away from home. They've got this incredible run away from home, but they always end up going behind. And so when you're going behind away from home, and you're at home and you're not creating, these things catch up with you. I mean, honestly, I actually thought at one stage in the second half, I was watching Liverpool right now, because they didn't look as though they were doing anything going forward, and they looked vulnerable defensively. So this isn't... Nobody would put money on Sheffield United winning this game before the game started. That's the truth. But is it a complete shock considering how United have been at home? It's not.
I've been saying this for a while. I don't think they will, but Man United may win the league this year, right? It might happen.
Why?
What do you mean?
Why do you think they're going to win the league of what we just saw?
No.
We've just talked about they can't win at home.
I said I personally don't think they will, and I've been steadfast.
So why
in
did you say you can say they're not going to win the league?
Right. I personally don't think they'll win the league. Right. There is an outside chance that them and Leicester might, if Liverpool don't pick up and Man City have even more problems than they've got at the moment with no Aguero, no De Bruyne. I don't think it's likely looking at the two teams. However, I've been saying it for a while now. Manchester United are not a great side. I think Stevie just sort of summarised that in terms of their performance. They're not a great side, but they've been getting some great results, particularly away from home. But I bet... Sorry, Jan, but I bet like the opposite from Liverpool. They're going to have to clean up their home form, like Liverpool were going to have to clean up their away form to even have a sniff. But that's 2 goals. I was saying to you, they've only lost 2 goals, or Sheffield United have only scored 2 goals on 2 occasions in a Premier League game this year, and they're both against Manchester United at Sheffield and at Old Trafford. Now, the pressure has been cranked up massively by Leicester's form, but more so by Man City's form, which has been incredible. We saw it yesterday, the destruction of teams in the relegation zone. And so, in moments like this, you have to ask yourself a question, albeit a relegation team, do I pick my strongest team, yes or no? And the answer has been a resounding for Solskjaer, no, he didn't. Right. He didn't pick his strongest team. He's taken a risk at a time when they're under the most pressure, as City have gone top. And Jan, they falter today, and yet Luke Shaw has been, and okay, some players might need a rest, but you know, we're really in the trenches now, because teams are piling the pressure on and teams are going on runs, and so I might be a bit tired, but do you leave out Lindelof and do you leave out Luke Shaw and maybe Fred and McTominay and others who have been superb, and I take a chance against a team who have been struggling and it doesn't pay off? That was a big risk to take, I think, bearing in mind what City did yesterday.
Yeah.
A risk Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done now for a long period of time. And it's true, if you always come 1-0 behind away from home, at home he's done it as well and hasn't succeeded in coming back to the game. So, sometimes he was pile up. That is quite clear. But I think sometimes we so-called experts do it a bit easy. Now we do I call it the Zinedine Zidane thing that we always do. When he wins games, we say it's because he leaves the stars alone. If he loses, it's because he doesn't talk to the stars. So I think that the way we're doing it now is quite too easy. He has rotated a team before. He's playing Arsenal. He is playing Arsenal in the weekend in the next game away from home. It's normal that you rest some of the players. I mean, there were enough players out there today that they should hammer Sheffield United. And I think that the easy thing is that what they lack of being that top team is that they can't handle the possession. That's not, they're not good enough in doing that. And I think that is what will hold them back from winning the league if they're going to go all the way. But remember, we're just halfway into the season, and you have to do something about that, or things will go so very much slower for Manchester United, because that luck you can't have all the time. You can call it moral to always bounce back, but you can also say that you're not good enough if you always go 1-0 down.
Solskjaer was critical of the referee after the game, saying that Sheffield United's opening goal shouldn't have stood because of foul on David De Gea, and then the goal at the other end in the first half that was cancelled out should have stood because there was no foul on the goalkeeper.
By Maguire? Mm-hmm. OK, I think there was a little contact from Billy Sharp, but I think, and my honest opinion is that David De Gea was weak, right, in his own 6-yard box, weak. Never got off the ground, even before there was contact. Never looked like getting off the ground. At the other end, I think the difference is, and my analysis would be that Harry Maguire jumped into the goalkeeper.
Right.
And that's the difference. Billy Sharp didn't even leave the ground. Harry Maguire jumped into the goalkeeper. Let me tell you about the United goal that came about. It came about from a corner kick, that came about from a free kick that should never have been given because the referee played an advantage and Paul Pogba took a shot with no pressure and smashed it over the bar. We reached out to Peter Walton, who seems to have gone on the missing list, our old colleague, the former Premier League referee, and said, should that have been brought back for a retake, for a free kick once Pogba has taken that strike? And he said, no, you should not have 2 bites of the cherry. So I really don't think Solskjaer's got anything to moan about, if I'm being frank.
Stevie?
Sheffield United shouldn't have been given that goal. It's absolutely a free kick on De Gea. Yes, Billy Sharp. He gets a little tickle from Matic, but he just barrels into the back of De Gea. You can say he should have been stronger, but the truth is, Billy Sharp absolutely impedes him. So I think the ref got that wrong. And there's no question Harry Maguire jumps into the goalkeeper Ramsdale. It's pretty obvious. So I don't know what Ollie's going on about with that one. But I certainly would have disallowed Sheffield United's. I thought it was a foul
the referee,
on David De Gea.
Well, the referee and VAR looked at it, Steve, because as you know, every goal is looked at.
Yep. No, I know. I saw that. I still don't understand how they don't see Billy Sharp. Billy Sharp probably ends up 4 yards, 5 yards from Matic, who gives him a little tickle, and somehow it ends up barreling into the back of De Gea. I don't understand how they don't see that VAR.
Yeah,
I think it's a combination of Billy Sharp being the fox that he is. He's been around for a long time. He knows all the tricks that you should do with the goalkeepers. Having said that, I think David De Gea didn't do well at that situation, and I think that they were punished for that. And I think that could stand. So I will stay with the goal.
Stevie's just trying to appease some Man United fans now. You know,
Hey, let me tell you. I was delighted. Don't get me wrong. I was delighted. I just thought it was a foul.
I mean, I actually wasn't supposed to be in today.
Neither of you two were supposed to be on today,
weren't supposed to be on today. You're right, but we saw United lost, and so we decided.
Stop saying United. Stop saying
Please,
United.
come on.
Sheffield United. Sheffield United.
Go on,
Stop saying United.
Yeah. Sheffield.
Sheffield United.
Man United.
Sheffield United founded their club.
Yeah, because when you say United.
In people's heads,
when you say United, you automatically think you're Sheffield United, of course.
What a mess.
Of course you should.
Oh, it's just bloody delay.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.